Hello, my name is Waylon Lewis, and every week we'll bring you a new podcast with Elephant Journal. Hey all, this is Waylon Lewis. I'm the founder of Elephant Journal. We're a publication that's been around 22 years now, which is wild to think that. And one of the many kind of mindful subjects, our mission is covering the mindful life. We've covered over all those years is a mindful home, a good home life, family, living on our own, recipes, all the stuff around home or office or place or mindfulness. And one of my favorite subjects around that, or to find insight around that, has been Feng Shui. For those who don't know, Feng Shui is kind of, I don't know if I can define it actually, but it's, an ancient but also incredibly relevant in most ways, way to look at our space, placement of things within objects, our life objects, our work objects within that space, and light and, movement and motion, speediness, how to slow some things down, how to make some other things flow better. So anyway, I'm interviewing an expert on Feng Shui today, and we're actually going to look at my actual home and pick it apart. So if you're excited to kind of get a tour of my eco Victorian home here in Boulder, Colorado, and at the same time, kind of pick it apart a little bit, or maybe point out what is good too, with Anjie Cho. Without further ado, let's bring her on. In the meantime, say where in the world you are. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and let's get Anjie on here. It's a subject I've loved because I love space, I love home, I love elegance, I love clutter, which I know has a bad name these days. Hey Anjie, how you doing?
Good.
So Piece of India just had a semi-cluttered home in New Jersey. I've actually written about this stuff. Like, Anjie, maybe we can just start philosophically, just jump in. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, it's been such a huge trend over the last 10, 20 years, whatever. I feel like it's a trend fueled by guilt and not really accepting what a wonderful, cheerful home can feel like. So I wrote this article that kind of went viral saying, enough of these white, empty spaces. I like white. White is one of the options in the rainbow, but it's okay to have I think the traditional Victorian home was like a little bit cozy and cluttered and fun, or you can be modern and empty, whatever, but there's different options that can be healthy. Does Feng Shui agree that there can be like an option like my house where there's like wool rugs everywhere and framed pictures and, or it can be a modern kind of minimalist home?
Yes, Feng Shui includes both aspects. Probably like if you start going to the extremes, like a home with absolutely nothing in it might as well be a hotel room, right?
Right.
And then one that is cluttered like a hoarder is also a big challenge, and it hurts people. But there's a whole rainbow in between, and that's one question people always ask me, like, what's the best color?
Yeah.
And there's no best color, and people want to be like kind of, I don't know, they think there's a magic pill for a best color, but there's no best color.
But Anjie,
there's no best situation.
I remember all these Feng Shui books saying like sometimes colors can be best for like an entrance or a certain area of the home, right? Is that true?
It is true that a book may say that, and as you know, as a writer, because when you write something, it's for a large audience and it's not tuned into one specific situation, and every moment is different. So both can be true at the same time. While a book can give you like a general overview and cover a lot of aspects, it may not be specialized for your particular situation. Just like we could read something on you know, WebMD about our, like something growing on our elbow, and
Right.
but
That's
someone
such a
who's
good analogy,
attuned to
Angie.
that. Yeah.
That's such a good analogy. So basically what you're saying is we need to fly you out here to Boulder to help me, because in defense of those who hate clutter, I do find that, you know, I have stuff all over my house, as I think we'll tour my house a little bit, but you're in charge, whatever you want to do. But if I do have like clutter, like things on the floor or like things out of place, it does mess with my mindfulness a bit.
It can, and but also we know that sometimes those are necessary, and those imperfections or little things in our path really help us. If we had something super, wait, I have my dog too.
There's my puppy.
That's my puppy.
Yay! Oh, I love that the doggies are hanging out.
Yeah.
Aw.
I have another one somewhere, but I don't know where she is. But yeah, like there's no such thing as a perfect like home and a perfect life. And if these imperfections and these little like clutter issues and things can be beacons of light to give us a direction to go in.
Okay. So yeah, I used to bike up this beautiful neighborhood in Boulder. I mean, I still do, but I used to see this one house and there was clearly a family there. I never met the family, but they had those like cut out like snowflakes or whatever they are that kids make sometimes at school, and they taped them all over the windows, and the house was like brightly colored, and there was like a messy yard full of toys and bikes, and every time I passed it, and there were big trees and stuff, every time I passed it I was like, this home is delightful. Like it just felt warm and used and community-ish. And I think of Jane Jacobs, one of my heroes, who was like a community advocate, and she really advocated for all those kind of messy connections that like an urban city like New York City can provide. And none of that is minimalist. So I think everyone has their bias. Mine is clearly, as we'll see, regrettably in a few moments, you know, a bit too far on the like antique book, rug, stuff everywhere side, but it's fun. Anyway, so you're in charge. What do you want to do? Did you want to just look at the bedroom, or did you want to like, what do you want to do here? What's useful for people or fun?
So I was thinking we could approach this like I would like a mini consultation with for one that I would have for my students with a real client to model, and we're gonna put this we're gonna both share this on our podcast. So so why don't we treat it like kind of like an official thing? So I would say, hi Waylon, how are you today?
Hello Angie, I'm very well. I'm running for local city council on top of,
I heard.
Yeah, on top of Elephant Journal, my work with Elephant, and running a puppy around town, so he's tired. So I am tired, but I'm very well.
Yeah, you know, since we last spoke, I kind of realized how much of a busy and open person you are. And then when you walk through your floor plan, especially like I could see it in your floor plan with the tour gates and like, and having that like bar area where you greet people. You have like such an openness to your community and people around you. But at the same time, I can see like you have a great team, but like, I wonder if you're overwhelmed and exhausted a little bit.
Well, 4 months ago, I was fine. With Boulder City Council on top of Elephant, on top of my life, for sure, I'm overwhelmed and exhausted.
But I think this is really important too, because you mentioned that you might do this when we talked a few months ago.
Yeah, and in 3 or 4 months, if I win, things will settle down into a routine, but that routine will be about 75 hours of work a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, well, we can talk about this a little bit. So, okay, so for a feng shui consultation, like usually I ask U4 floor plan, and you drew kind of one up, which I actually gleaned a lot from that. So
Okay.
thank you for doing that.
I had no idea if any of that made sense. Everyone who's watching, Anjie Cho apparently got a lot out of one of the worst floor plans in history. I drew it and it made very little sense.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Yeah. So, well, there's actually like, I could see a lot. I also looked up your address and looked up your Google Maps. I also asked you for like 3 wishes. And I also got your birth information. So usually I start with a little bit about, I could talk a little bit about your 9-star key. And I think it's kind of, it's a little bit timely for what's going on with you. And then maybe we can go over clarifying your wishes a little bit. And then I'm going to ask you questions about your home. And then you can feel free to show me around your home. And, but we'll just sit together for a little bit.
Okay, I might stabilize my camera if we're just sitting.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. I am putty in your hands.
Okay. So you are okay. So in Feng Shui, we use this numerology called the 9-star key, and it's connected to the like Bagua and the I Ching and the Lo Shu Magic Square, and it's based on your birth information. So your numbers are 8, 6, 7. Have you heard of this? Okay, so you're an 8, 6, 7. So basically an 8 is like a mountain. It's in the I Ching, it's related to the mountain trigram. So your fundamental nature is a very like independent, strong person. So it's interesting that you like are so open to and share a lot of your life, but really there's like a sense of independence. Like you're a mountain that kind of stands alone. Mm-hmm. And you're very strong. It's like yang earth. It's very strong earth. You know, like a mountain is not like sand or soil. It's very compacted, hard earth. And also mountains have been, you live in the, is Boulder in the, yeah, you live in the mountains, but mountains are also very, they watch and they observe. And you can hold a lot of things in, and maybe, you hold a lot of things in and you kind of like let them go like a volcano. You get angry and then like maybe you don't show a lot.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, I definitely am pretty open to the point of like openness is how I process stuff and keep going and don't get stressed out. Mm-hmm. But I definitely get frustrated and will blow up sometimes. But it lasts like 2.5 minutes. But
like an explosion.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be like that. And I usually will take myself for a walk if I get frustrated.
And then the fundamental quality of you is like that yang earth, that strong earth. And also part of that is like sticking up for the underdog, really being independent. And then the 6 is under stress or as a child, you probably like speed up, get really fast, and you get like very precise and cut people off probably like a sword. It's yang metal. It's like very cutting.
Sure.
But then this last number is 7 is yin metal, and that's what people mostly see you as. And it's like yin metal is shiny jewelry, like super refined jewelry. Sometimes we describe 7 metals as like the hostess on the Titanic. That's like everything is going to be okay. Like you can be really charming. Yeah. And great at talking. So but the important thing is like the 8 is in a 9 year. So this year in 2024, you're in a year of fame and fire. So it is a year where you have a lot of potential to be seen. And so that would, I think, support you running for city council, you said?
Yeah, Boulder City Council, yeah. Yeah,
so you have that on your side, and I think you're okay with like good and bad, everything coming out. Like that's kind of you're in the spotlight, in the sunlight this year.
Yeah. One thing I'd add is you may know Boulder. Have you been to Boulder, Colorado?
I have not.
So Boulder feng shui wise is very, very interesting because there's these 3 they're called the flat irons. They're shaped like old irons, like ironing clothes. Oh, so there's 3 flat irons and they're very famous and they loom over and dominate all of Boulder. Boulder is this little mountain valley, this green little mountain valley right up against the mountains, between the Rocky Mountains, the beginning of them on the west, and the Great Plains on the east. So we're sandwiched between these two huge masses that dominate a lot of the United States. And these big Flatirons that are gorgeous and just remind you of nature and power. I think they're like the dragon symbol maybe in Feng Shui. They're right outside my window, right there. Everyone, pretty much everywhere in Boulder, you can see them.
Well, that's part of that kind of quality of those mountains is what you embody. That's your fundamental nature.
Well, I was born here, so that works.
Yeah, and I'll make it out there sometime. I need to go to Drawla Mountain Center, but
oh yeah, they would love to host you. Anyway, we'll stay focused.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Okay, but also this fire is actually very nourishing for you because fire creates earth. So like the idea is like in the 5 elements, the fire creates ashes and that supports you. So this is a very supportive year for you. And then next year you're going into a water year, which may feel a little bit muddy and be more, it's like winter. It's where things are very, very under the surface. So that's going to start to transition into that kind of energy near November and December, even though the Lunar New Year or the transition in the Chinese calendar happens on February 3rd or 4th. It's still like, it's a slow transition. So you're kind of in this year of fire now. And then fire is very nourishing for you because you've told me before that you have you like red, I think, and you have red around you. So that's a very nourishing color for you.
Yeah, like my childhood favorite color was pink. And then a teacher when I was a little kid told me I couldn't like pink because I'm a boy. So then I picked orange. And I think even to this day, like the color of like whiskey or like beautiful tiger oak wood is probably my favorite color.
Well, that's earth color actually. Like so brown is, well, that's like a combination of red with the earth. So earth is like brown and yellow, and orange can be either earth or fire. So like fire can be very like, I think like you talked about a buttery red for your torii gates at your home. So that's kind of a more vibrant, I'm thinking like. And
I have these like cozy blankets everywhere that are red. Yeah. And the rugs are often red, and red is definitely up there for sure.
Good. So you already kind of like know like what's nourishing for you. Okay. So the things that you wanted to work on were, I'm going to say a little bit generic, but
what did I
that's okay.
say? I don't even remember.
Okay, yeah. But I know you meant them.
Okay, you can get under my skin too. Like if I can get more specific, you can draw it out of me and I'll start crying.
Okay, all right. You want to cry? I can. No, I'm just kidding. Well, you know what then? I'm going to skip your 3 wishes and just go into what I saw on your floor plan.
Okay. I think my 3 wishes, if I remember, I think, I'm a big lover of life and family and love. I wrote, speaking of red and gold and all this stuff, like one of my books is about the Buddhist notion of love. And I think, my engagement ended and my old beautiful dog died last year. So, I kind of lost a lot of like love in my life. So I think that probably what I wrote, I have this wonderful home and community and, and there's lots of people coming over and stuff, but I don't have that inner home life.
No, you didn't. You kind of like danced around it. You said a loving, wholesome, fun, chaotic, genuine family.
Yeah.
But you didn't write about having like feeling, having a partner, feeling, having just having a partner and having your own family.
Yeah, it's a bit like I just arranged this big, beautiful picnic in a park for my partner, and then no one shows up. That's a little bit of the energy of this year.
Well, I could see this in your floor plan, actually. So, I'm jumping ahead in my list, but I'm going to go for it. So, your home, if we stand in the front door and we look at the far left corner, you have a secondary entry, you have your back door there, right?
Well, I don't quite get it. So I can just like film what.
Mudroom, your mudroom. I'll just tell you.
There's my front door.
Okay,
if you see it.
Stand at your front door, looking in.
Oh, looking in. Okay, you can't see the back door.
No, but like what if you look straight and you kind of go to the right, that's your mudroom and your secondary entrance, your back door.
Mudroom, right? You'd have to go left, and then you'd have to go like either through there.
Yes,
like
and then it's to the right.
Or the kitchen, and then you would go over here to the mudroom.
Yeah, so
and beware, the mudroom is cluttered.
Oh, okay. Let's stay here. Here.
There's
if you don't mind.
All over.
Okay.
Like I'm a zero-waste grocery guy, so there's jars all in those. Yeah.
Okay, so this on the Bagua map represents your relationship area.
Oh.
This represents your primary relationship.
Okay.
It represents a romantic partnership or a marriage.
Wow.
It also represents your mother, your feminine element. It represents yin earth. So when you have a secondary door in that area, a back door, it means that and you also have called attention to it because I think you told me you had like a torii gate out there too.
Well, it's actually over here, but yes, it's by you can kind of see it. Right?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay then. But anyway, the back door.
Yeah.
So back doors are where chi comes into your space. So by having this secondary door in your relationship area, it gives an opportunity for people like partners to come in and out of your life really easily. Yeah.
So what do I do?
So well, you also pointed out that it's very cluttered, that you feel it's very cluttered.
Well, it's the mudroom, so it's kind of where stuff comes and goes, like laundry and jars and dog food and shoes and coats, and I have my pantry, like my dishes and stuff.
Yeah. So you can also see how those words that you're saying could apply to your romantic relationships.
Right. It's like where things come and go kind of thing.
Things come and go and things pile up in there, or that people can come in and out easily.
Yeah. That's
just what it means energetically. So what you can do is there's some simple ways to work with this. One is to, you could get like a shopkeeper's bell. You know what those are?
Yeah, like on the door.
Yes. So it's like a way of energetically letting you know you have bell. Okay.
And then look.
Oh.
And then this is irrelevant. There's my 40-foot treehouse up there. But I also have.
Okay. No, but that's different.
Yeah, that is not connected yet.
You want it on the door. Okay. So that's good. But you may want to refresh those. Okay. How long have they been there?
I don't know. Definitely like a couple years.
Okay, so maybe take them down. Maybe you can like clear. You could even just bring them into sunlight for like a couple hours. A powerful time is the most yang hours of the day are between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And maybe just kind of, you know what I think actually like put them out in the sunlight for like around noon for some time with the intention that you're going to use that sunlight, that yang energy to kind of clear and set a new intention to know, like to be more aware of what's happening when potential like romantic partners, long-term partners, a partner shows up in your life, that you're not letting them come in and out of your life, that you know that when things are slipping away, that you know when that you can be losing that chi, but you're aware of it. And then also do the same at midnight one night, so that you're also bringing in the energy of the moon to the yin energy.
That's so interesting. And then I've heard that it's problematic. I think this was feng shui. If the back door right behind me is like used more often than the front door. Is that true?
It's not problematic as long as you do use your front door sometimes.
I do.
Do you use your front door regularly? Like always, like make it a priority to use your front door, because that's where the main chi comes in.
Okay.
Like every time you walk your dog or you get your mail, like
Right.
once a day.
Okay.
Because some people don't use the front door at all. Like they only use their back door.
Yeah. I'm kind of guilty of that. I definitely use the front door because I remember reading that, but I definitely like probably 8 out of 10 times use the back door.
That's okay as long as there's an intention, because the front door is where like people, that's where the chi can find you. And this also affects how you can find a partnership too, because it's really the way the chi comes in formally. So if you formally want to make the shift in your life to invite a partnership to start like having that warmth in your life, you make that intention. So like just like do something like every time I get the mail, you're only getting the mail through the front door, or you're
Yeah.
only getting,
I always
walking your
get the
dog.
mail. I like the dog thing. The back door reason is because I'm always biking. So I bike into the backyard. You know, similar to people who drive into the garage and don't use the
Yes,
front door.
exactly. But it's not easy to find a partner. So you need to like make shifts in your habitual patterns that you do out of ease to bring in that chi.
I love that,
Go
Angie.
back to that.
Oh.
So I think also you need to move, if you need those things in there, let go of what's in there that you haven't touched in like a year.
Oh my God, I so agree. It's like my road bike, which I no longer use because it's so dangerous in Boulder. And then probably some of the shoes, my road bike's hanging on the stairway. And then some of the storage, the stuff, I just have to go through it, and I never do.
And then purposely leave some space for a partner in there.
Okay.
It's like so full, there's no room for anyone else in your life.
No, and people say that to me all the time. They're like, you have a wonderful life, a wonderful house, but how would someone come into it?
Exactly. So if you set that intention for your relationship area, like I'm gonna like purposely maybe let go of something that's a little bit hard to let go of, or make this empty space that I'm gonna leave empty so that someone else's chi can come in here and feel at home in here and have a place for themselves. That's a huge intention. And then
so like where I have coats like hanging everywhere, I could leave half the hooks empty.
Right. Where's your future partner gonna put their coat when they come in?
They're gonna have to just get me to move stuff out of the way. Here's winning.
Yes. And then you talked about pink. This area, the color that's related to this area is pink.
Oh, interesting.
So could you bring something pink in here and touch back into how that was your favorite color? And
it's interesting because the rug and the floor is sort of warm pinkish. It's not quite as red or intense, but
you don't. Yeah, that is interesting. But I want you to bring something new in, because you don't need more of the same chi that you already have.
Well said. That sounds like an innocuous statement, but I feel like that was kind of a feng shui diss.
No, because people always ask me, so can I just reuse this thing? I'm like, you can, but don't you want to bring a new chi into your life and home? They're like, okay.
It's funny, I'm looking around and I see like nothing pink. I mean, I have one. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Well,
I have this cover on the teeth.
Pink is a combination of metal, which is white, and fire. So it's kind of a soft, it's still nourishing for you. And but it's softer, and it's inviting, and it's opening up kind of that receptivity. So that area of the Bagua map is also related to Kun position. I don't know, are you familiar with the I Ching at all?
Yes, very much. I grew up with it in the Buddhist community.
Okay, so the Kun trigram, the receptive number 2, is that area. So it's also related to the color pink. So even like exploring,
I don't want to mislead you. We did the I Ching all the time. I don't know how to like do it.
Okay, well, the hexagram number 2 is Kun over Kun, all yin lines, all 6 broken lines, and that's actually the embodiment of that area of the Bagua map, and it's also related to the color pink. And so I think you brought it up. I think there's an invitation here for you to kind of like explore pink, like maybe wear a pink shirt, wear a pink necklace, wear pink underwear. I don't know, like see what that feels like. But also it's it's like a bowl shape, right? Receiving, are you ready to receive a partner? Are you ready to hold someone in your life? And how can you create that space instead of filling up that space? How do you create a place for someone to be there with you?
I love that. Yeah, I heartily agree with all this, for sure. There was a good comment from Mindful. Did you see that? Mindful
No.
Empty Nectar. Love the idea of creating physical space for other people or valuable things, such as a new pastime to come in.
Yes, because the physical space is the same as the emotional space, as the energetic space. We don't think it is, or we don't think it is, but I don't see them as different.
Yeah, and it's definitely like been a challenge, not challenge for all my partners, but it's definitely been, even for the partners who got through the fact that I lived here for 17 years. There's like a lived in quality here. They've had to make their own space, and I've been very or I've tried to be, I should say, I've tried to be very accommodating and enthusiastic because I want someone in my life, but I think it still doesn't feel super easy.
And we started out talking about how full your life appears from. I'm a very busy person too, but you seem even busier than me, which is kind of like, I never see that. And
Yeah.
and I can't even imagine like how, like, even in that time space, how someone feels like they could fit into your life. So you don't have to necessarily work at it the most difficult way. You could start in like the space, in your physical space, and that translates and trickles into all the other areas of your life. And it's kind of this indirect path that maybe you've overlooked.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, the busyness in my life, it has just begun 4 months ago. Like 4 months ago, I had a kind of normal life, I think, like full time and then space. But yeah, this might be a sort of transitional time for me in some ways, like the beginning of a new path.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you can, by creating the space, you're allowing yourself a space for someone else in a different way, that you don't have to give it up maybe with your schedule time. Maybe
Yeah.
it happens in other ways. Like, it doesn't have to happen through physical time, right? Or
Okay.
schedule time.
Okay, that's helpful. Yeah, because I think, who I'm attracted to generally is someone who shares my sort of passion for being of benefit to
Mm-hmm.
our world. So, that person, they could show up in any way, but they may be, someone who also is active and independent and doing a lot for our community or for our world in whatever form. Or they could be the opposite. They could be someone who wants a family and, wants to be more grounded.
Well, what, I'm going to give you one final thing to do in that area too. So the door represents how the chi comes in and out of your life, right? That's how we come in and out of our spaces.
Okay.
So and it's not a better or worse door that it's this back door, but it's the fact that it's the back door, that it's not the primary door, that we want to have you give you we want you to refresh the bells. You could even get a new shopkeeper's bell if you want. You only need one too. You don't need all of the bells.
Okay.
But what could also be helpful is to actually, I'm going to give you two things. Clean the windows with some intention, all those windows with the intention that you're going to open your eyes. I mean, they look pretty clean from here, but just do it
No,
anyway.
they're not at all. They're I don't you can't really see,
Oh,
but yeah, they're not clean.
okay. So I want
Yeah.
you to clean
Okay.
them with the intention that you are, because your windows represent your eyes. The doors represent the mouth and the communication and the chi, but the windows represent the eyes, so that you're going to also clear away any misconceptions that you have about inviting a partner into your life. Not that you have any, but I'm just saying you're ready to open your eyes to it.
Okay.
And then make a list of 9 things on pink paper with a pink pen,
Okay.
and write down 9 things. Get a new pink pen and a pink paper and put it in a red envelope above your door, so that every time you walk in through that door, you're activating your intentions for those 9 qualities you would like to invite in a partnership.
Wow. Wow. So 9 qualities in a partnership that I'd like to invite on pink paper with a pink pen and a red envelope above
Yes.
the door.
Yes.
Like up there.
Yep.
With the dog
Like
treat.
in Buddhist tradition, you could put talismans above the door, and it's like you're saying that you're activating those good merits every time you go through that door.
We have a little, see the little,
the horseshoe.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a talisman that you've made. It's not an antique that that has someone else's. You're going to intentionally create your own talisman with your intention for what kind of partner you want to walk into your life.
Okay. Very helpful, Anjie.
Thanks for listening. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. The full conversation is on our indie platform that supports and continues our work, elephantjournal.com/videos. You can subscribe, listen, watch, and participate there. And when you do so, you'll keep these mindful videos and podcasts going. elephantjournal.com/videos. May it be of benefit.